I am finally here in Brenda's sewing room. So Brenda's been a friend of ours and a customer at Heirloom Creations here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota for, how many years? I was counting about 32, 33.
At least.
Yes, the store opened in 1989, and you were actually one of our first customers. I know, you can totally show it. Okay, so at the beginning, when the store first opened, years ago. Okay, so so what is this?
This is my yellow bag, and it makes me a member of the Elite Heirloom Creation Club.
Yes, and there's not very many elite.
And it's lifetime, so I use it.
Yes, there was something when my mother-in-law opened the store
I was
that...
just seeing if there was a date on here, but there isn't.
Oh, yes, that if you spent $500...
Which is huge.
Yes, that was huge. We had like 300 bolts of fabric, I'm told, and needlepoint. Were you ever a needlepointer?
I did needlepoint. Yes.
So you had to make a $500 purchase. You got a lifetime bag, and she is still one of our original bag ladies, as we called you.
With a discount every time I bring it in.
Yes. Okay, so this is not a thing these days, ladies. This was a long time ago. Okay, back in the day. All right. So, Brenda, this is an amazing sewing room.
This is wonderful.
You've been probably dreaming about this for...
Well, once we decided we were going to move, and we decided that a build was going to be in our future, so I got to design what I wanted, and that was lovely. And my husband got to design his room too, which is in the garage. It's the workshop. And so the argument has always been that I have more square footage than he does, but he actually has more square footage than I do.
Well, between you and your tools, by the way, what's your license plate?
Gadget girl.
And his tools and his hobbies.
Yes.
It is something too, when you get to a certain time in your life that you get to design your own. Sewing is something you've always wanted, always done, and then you know that you're going to do it. You have a beautiful sewing room. We're going to take you through a few of her machines shortly, but I thought we'd just chat about some of the things that have gotten you to this point in your sewing journey. So you actually brought out for us even your very first quilt.
Very first quilt.
So did you take your first quilting class with Cleo?
Oh, of course.
Of course.
And this one I did hand quilt too.
Oh, wow. Yes.
So this was, and the fabrics of course have faded in 30 years, but I did label it, and it says source of new experiences. My first quilt, the source of a newfound freedom of expression, and it was. Pieced and quilted by Brenda Paulson, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, started in 1989, so 89 is when I started, probably.
Yep.
And I finished it in 1991, which is too bad.
See, don't feel so bad. You've got projects in progress.
And it all started with Cleo's words, pick the colors you like, it's your quilt. So I did, and I keep on picking out more.
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet.
So, yeah.
Yes, and
I'm glad I recorded that on a
because you don't
label.
remember how your journey started sometimes. You know, you get going and you get fancier machines and you're on to other things. You've also become an embroiderer, so part of her choices, and you picked brand new machine, like you just traded it. You did try and trade in all your machines, and you're like, I want all the best.
Yes, I did.
And then you also picked cabinets, so we'll talk about her cabinet choices as well. So you do have a few other things here. Let's talk about
show you this one?
Yes.
Okay. This one it's the only red work one that I've ever done, but it was for my uncle. And my dad had one brother, my uncle. My dad had passed away already. And these are scenes from the farm they grew up on. I mean, not actual, but I can't remember which company. It was an OESD, I think.
It's Anita Good Design.
We'll
put a link below so you can check it out.
But he loved it. And then on the back, I put on one of my dad's shirt pockets and one of my dad's hankies with a little note.
You definitely are. Brenda's definitely the sentimental quilter sewer. So there's always that little extra touch, which is what I love when she shows us projects, because there's always one more thing.
And he passed away this last February, and they kindly gave it back to me. So So I was really pleased
Oh
to
yes,
receive
to do
Yeah.
that. Since we're going through, why don't we
Oh.
just keep going?
This is this one I did finished in 1991, but I started it. It's one of those that I started for
Yeah.
someone getting married, not realizing how time consuming it was.
Oh.
And so it didn't get finished. The top gut was finished. And then I got it back because I needed to finish it. Well, subsequently the marriage did not last, and I just used. I gave it to Thane instead.
Well, you have
So I finished it and I gave it to Thane.
Oh.
And this one is Day and Tonight.
I love
But-
it. Fun.
So then I learned
Okay.
that lesson.
Yeah.
Be careful what
Yes.
you want to do.
Yes, which lessons have you learned in your quilting journal? Put those in the comments below as we continue to talk. Yes.
Absolutely.
Good. And this was something you showed me last time I was here, and so I thought we could just
can
take a
we?
quick look. So we'll do a close-up of this, but this is, okay, so this is
The Mary Frances Sewing Book, Adventures Among the Thimble People. And it is a story teaching young girls at the time how to sew. Even there's a hemming stitch, and it goes all the way through all the different kinds of stitches a little young girl would need to know in 1913
Wow.
on how to
How
sew. And then
precious.
all of the patterns, here I'll show you one that's connected. All the patterns are in the book. And so any little girl could make doll patterns and doll dresses for their 16-inch doll, which must have been the common
Perfect.
size.
Yes.
And so she just has these adventures with
But it's a story. It's like
it's a story.
It's just a story.
Teaching her how to do things.
That is so
So,
precious. How
I
did you
love
end
it.
up with this book?
I ended up with it when my mother-in-law passed away, and it was one of those that I wanted to keep. There's also the Mary Frances cooking book, which I think my sister-in-law kept. So,
Oh my goodness.
they're just,
We'll look it up. If we can
Yeah.
find links to this, we'll put them in the description down below. So
Sure.
let's fast forward
Mhm.
into
From 1913
Yes,
to-
we're gonna go right up to. I know when Brenda was waiting for the house to finish to be built, she had picked out all her machines. They were all waiting for you in our warehouse, and she would come to visit. And actually, it was during the time where we were getting ready to produce the whole cloth quilt, the rehooping experience. We've got one of these for the Bernina pinpoint placement, for the Pfaff precise positioning, and the Husqvarna Viking design positioning courses. We'll put links below. You actually did my sample for
I did.
you
I made the
on her new machine. You were part of our test group. Well, yes, kind of on a separate day, but so this is actually hers. So she actually proved to herself that she will love her machine once she got them home.
So it was I was so grateful to come and practice when it
Yes, I know you were and you were traveling, and so you really didn't have a lot of time to sew. So she would actually come and sew. So let's talk about the machines, and then we'll come back to something else that you're working on over here.
Sure.
So, what was the process of picking out your machines yourself?
I wanted the best, and I wanted the best so that it would last for a long time. And I didn't feel like I wanted to trade up. I just, let's go for it.
Let's just go ahead and just get the ones you want. And we recently did a video of just saying yes. Brenda is who I was sailing with. When we did every day. We woke up and said yes to everything. But yes, I think you did say yes to these machines. And you've had which machines in the past?
I've had a Bernina 150.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you had a Pfaff embroidery machine.
I did. I had the Pfaff Creative 4.5.
Yes. Okay.
And that's what started me in embroidery, which I did the red work on that one. But gosh, there was one machine coming.
Yes.
So,
all right.
So
you are going to see the luxury of saying yes to whatever you want, and also having room for it too. So let's just kind of walk over here, and then yes. So here we have a table from, this is one of the Horn, yes, you have all Horn of America sewing tables. This one.
Love this one.
Goes up and down.
This is the full height, but now I can stand, which I often did when I was working on the 4.5. I actually made a taller station for myself, just because you're changing threads and you're moving, and I'm picking out scraps and I'm up and down, and so I love this.
Yes, so this is the Pfaff Creative Icon 2. So if you watch one of my recent videos, this is my machine too. So we have sister machines.
Yes, we do.
And with the Wi-Fi capability, you said you have it all connected, so you can just send designs over. That is it's all the latest greatest. And even if you're not used to or ready to do that type of level, high tech, maybe it's a little bit advanced for you, you might find it actually simplifies a lot of things. So don't be afraid of it. Visit your local store and see what options they have. And speaking of local stores, you had a great suggestion about when you do buy a machine, part of it is you are buying the store. So, the help you get, the service, what would your suggestion be for somebody who's picking out a machine? Even if it's not, Brenda's machine, it's okay if you buy other machines.
But having a relationship with the store and the support is amazing. And that's what I appreciate most. And Sarah accompanies me quite often on her sewingmastery.com when I was trying to figure out how to change and figure out how to work my sewing at my sewnet. And so yes, I spend a lot of time with Sarah even when she's not here.
And that is why we do the videos, because I know Brenda's crazy schedule. You teach at one of the universities, you are here and there and not always, but you're always learning. You're always looking, so even if you're not in this room, you are sometimes picking up that information for later. And I do have to point out, there's your embroidery essentials course. Oh my goodness. Did you do that with, when we did hands-on class?
That was the hands-on class.
Okay, so we did hands-on at our store in preparation to film the online course. So you got one of the original ones. It turned out really nice. Yeah. Yes, and learning about your machine, that is our most popular embroidery class. If you want to just have something to do to learn all the buttons and features, that's why we developed it. It is great.
Well, it makes it so it's not scary. And I'm not afraid to try something different, even though it may be different from what I've learned. Yeah. I know that I can achieve it. I can do it just because I have a few more tools in my box.
Yeah, you got to try it. Yep. The idea is that every block is just a little different technique, so it just helps you continue to learn your machine. All right, but I'm going to just we're going to just reveal what's right behind us, and it is your other Pfaff. So this is the Pfaff Performance Icon. So this is the sewing only version of the Pfaff Creative 2, which is a sewing and embroidery combination. So tell us, why did you pick two? Why did you get two?
Because with my Creative 4.5, I only have room for that in my sewing room. And when I wanted to, or I needed to just do a little bit of a sew or an attachment, putting two pieces of fabric together, whatever, I would have to then disassemble or change my foot and do all of those kinds of things. And so in creating my new studio, I wanted to have just a sewing machine so I could just sew if I needed to while this is running. And I love it. Good. I just love it.
That is awesome. And I noticed with your cabinet, you've got it lowered. Once you have a seat. Yeah. So what do you love about being able to just turn around and sew?
Everything.
Yeah. So it's always set up to use.
It's always ready to use. It's always set up for sewing. I can just turn around and start sewing. What was nice is from my Pfaff Creative 4.5, many of the stitches were recognizable. There are certainly more on this performance icon. There are even more on the Creative 2 or the Icon 2, and so it was just an easy transition. And so that's what I love about having coordinating machines that I'm
Yes.
not foreign. I don't have to think a different way to get to that machine than this machine.
That's a
So,
great suggestion for
Yeah.
people. Sometimes we get different brands, or we add on, but we still use the old one, and now you're kind of like, oh wait, that didn't have it, and now this one did.
Yeah.
Yes.
So-
All right. Let's talk about the Serger. So this is the one that it is a different brand.
It's a different brand.
Yes, but if you did watch one of my latest videos of which machines and which Sergers I picked, you picked the same ones. You picked out which Bernina Serger.
The L890.
That is my favorite.
Serger.
And it's so quiet. Have you noticed that?
It's quiet. All of the instructions are right in the interface of the screen, and so I appreciate that so much. Love the air. What do we call that?
Threaded. Yep.
Yes.
They're threaded.
I don't have to do all of this, and
It just is, yes. And I noticed that one of your last projects you posted, it was for your granddaughter.
Yes,
It had embroidery, it had sewing, and it had cover stitching. And I can just,
and serging.
and serging, right. So I could just tell that you just did this little kind of round, you were just right here.
Yeah,
So everything
I
was
was.
just close by. I do, one thing I do like about your setup here is that, I don't know about you, but sometimes people come in my sewing room and they sneak up on me. So I've always wanted to position machines just enough so I can see the door out of maybe I get focused and then somebody like, I get scared out of it.
You're
I do.
No, I know when someone's coming. I can
That's true.
really
You can probably
people.
hear them. Yes, you do.
But
Anyway,
yeah.
yes, I can just see. You can just go right around. Your cutting tables right over here. We'll kind of come back around to that.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Don't go anywhere. We haven't even opened up the coolest part of this entire sewing room. So, yes. So I'm loving your machine choice.
Oh, me too.
Anything
too.
else that you wish you had, or do you? So far, so good. Oh, you can say it. Uh-oh.
I think I need an iron.
Oh, a new iron.
Yeah.
Oh, we talked about, yes. Oh, we talked about the Laura Star ironing system. Yes. That
So
would
we'll
make
see.
it.
We'll see.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be here long enough to iron something.
know something. Yes, that's true. Yeah.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't imagine all
Oh,
the creativity that you're going to be able to.
I love the
Do.
workspaces, especially on that horn, that table. There are just so many workspaces I can lift up. Man, it's
Perfect.
just the best.
Awesome.
Love it.
How about we're going to switch views here. We're going to show you the closet next, and not your normal closet. And then I see you're working on a couple projects, so I would love to see.
Always working on projects.
Yes, you do,
Yes.
and more than one at
Probably.
one time. Yeah.
You'll
So-
see my UFOs in the closet.
Oh well, yes, you're going to feel right at home if you've got a UFO or two at home. So who? Yes, I know this is kind of the fun. Was this your idea? Who came up with this idea?
Well, our architect built it in for me.
Oh, yes.
And when we had to adjust, we had something we were doing with that side of the wall or that wall, and then we ended up expanding this out. So it's a 3.5 foot deep closet. So it's the width of my hallway.
Oh yes.
So
Yeah.
if you're, we've got a nice long hallway there. But when we were able to design, I could. I'm so happy he put this in for me.
Yes.
Ta-da!
Okay, there's one. There's two, and then all the way across.
So
Yes. And so, I mean, you can step in a good 1.5 feet.
Oh, yeah. And I've got room for more things that I can.
Yes. And so it does look kind of like just everybody else's closet. Those are really just kind of like the IKEA type, maybe not.
Well, I bought them at Target.
Yeah.
These were in my former sewing room.
Yes.
And so they're, 6 squares.
Yep.
And I had them all over, used them in multiple different ways in my old sewing room. And so when this sewing room was being built, I thought, there we go.
And there's
Everything's going to be up there. Quilting books, obviously, these are my fat quarters. There we go. And then I've got bins on this side, which we'll take another look. But I also have ceiling height because we've got taller ceilings. I stack and I work
Yes, you did. You
carefully when
Yes.
I take things down. But like pillow forms are not that heavy, so that's try to put that up there.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and then hopefully I'm going to get some shelving here so I can put these up on shelves and take care of them that way. But yeah.
Perfect. And then the traditional. So a lot of things that you normally see anyway in people's sewing room. And then lighting. I see your lighting.
Yes.
And then these sliders, you can go the other way. So if we want to, so she can come in here, and then everybody can all go to the other side if you're working on your other side of the closet. There you go. Oh, that looks good. Oh, you've done a lot of organizing.
I did. I did.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yes, it just makes it so much easier to do a project if I know that I know where the items are at that I would like to locate. They're marked, they're labeled, as is everything in this place.
Perfect.
Today.
Let's talk about, how about the ironing table next? Okay, we have to tell the story on the ironing table. This is the original Cleo's Heirloom Creations ironing table that we use all the time.
Yes.
But
and when I was picking out the machines and just discussing with Steve, because he used a room in Heirloom and we set up things so we knew if it was going to fit first, which was an excellent idea. And so then we started talking about ironing tables, and I said, Steve, you know what I really want this.
A pressing table
like this in my sewing room. He said, well.
Do I have a deal for you?
He said, do you want ours? And I said, yes. Yes, I do. And so it came, they stored it for a year. And it came to live here, and then it was actually another foot wider, and for the space in the room, it had shelving on the back, so that was an easy way to take that off. My husband took those off for me, and then I recovered using their system of Velcroing the edges on. It's just lovely.
Perfect.
Found a piece of fabric that I liked.
And then you got it repainted.
And then I used my label maker.
Oh, that's right. Nice.
To tell me what everything is inside.
Yes. So storage inside of ironing tables. Great idea.
Yes.
No, it looks really good. I know that. It was something all of our students always loved using. So I'm glad it's got repurposed one more time. Yes. And now lives at Brenda's.
I'm very honored to
Cleo. The original. Yes. Good.
Yes.
We're going to finish up by just letting you see some of the projects Brenda is using. The last time I was here and we were discussing this room tour, I spotted Brenda's Spoonflower sample pack. Now, we have some videos. We'll put a little link up here where I do talk about these. And this is where you print your own fabrics. And I highly recommend, if you're going to do any of this, because they have so many different fabrics that you can print on, get the sample pack so you know you have the feel, the size. Absolutely. And so let's just talk about what your recent project is. Well, because you have your new serger and your new cover stitch machine.
Yes, I do. And when we also have a pool. And so I thought, I have a hard time finding swimwear. And so I thought, I should just make my own swimwear.
It's actually really not that hard. So people, I know it sounds like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do that? It's Lycra. It's going to stretch. It'll be fine.
Yeah. So I decided towards the beginning of the summer to work through the Spoonflower. I picked out these colors. My daughters kind of went, So
they're going to be fabulous, by the way.
Anyway, I remember that first quilt that started in 1989 and I finished in 1991. Well, this is going to be probably another summer or this fall or winter when I have time to sit down and work and just create.
Yes, and what's nice about Spoonflower, you can go on and actually search for different. Maybe you type in floral, and all the designers, so artists, post their images. And if you find an image or coloring that you like, then this designer got credit for your purchase.
Right.
And then you only order what you need. So if you only want to get 2 yards, there's not waste out there. So it's very eco-friendly way to buy fabric, a little bit more expensive, but this is like the
This is
the sport
lycra.
Sport lycra, yep.
Yeah, and the it comes with the information about if you want to go back and find it again.
Yeah.
It's who designed it, and there's your
custom
your
printing.
order number.
All the information is just put on the selvage for you.
Yeah.
And then again, you're like contributing to artists.
Yes,
yeah, you're supporting artists around the world.
And
I've ordered some too, and I'm like, oh, that's so awesome.
Well, and my daughter, our daughter, not our daughter, but my husband's and my daughter, she owns a business, and she wanted to do some personalized scrunchies.
Oh.
And so I said, spoon flower, and we went right online, and you can submit your own design.
Or logo.
Yeah. And so she's definitely probably going to work through Spoonflower to get those made.
And you talked about scrunchies being made out of satin. So you've already picked out. Oh,
so,
that's the one that's right on top.
So I showed her, the selections, and then she was able to pick which one she wanted to start with. And
I love that on the back of these, it actually says, because not all the fabrics are like your traditional 44 inches wide, like cottons are. This one's going to be a printable width of 54 inches. So you're going to be able to calculate better like how, but not all of them. Some of them are actually wider. Some are 60. There's wallpaper options. Did you do the wallpaper?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay, yes.
There's grass style wallpaper. There's peel and stick wallpaper. It's just just a fantastic.
Yes. We do not get credit for talking about Spoonflower at all, but just we'll put a link below and you can check it out. We I go down the rabbit hole. Do you go down? Set a timer, ladies and gentlemen.
On that website.
Yes, because you start searching. I'm working on something that I was searching for pre-printed panels and mosaics to do maybe a future class with. So, yes.
So it's a fantastic website.
So that was one of them that you're working on, and we're going to show you the last project and because you're working on something totally different next.
I always have ideas.
Yes,
And there's
you'll be fine if you get snowed in this winter. You'll be fine. So we have some parts and pieces here, but what project is this?
This is an ottoman that came from our house with us, and we sold the chairs, but I kept the ottoman.
Yeah.
But this is what it used to look like, faded. This is what it was originally, and our house is quite modern.
This is not going to fit in this current house.
Into our decor.
All right.
So it took a long time to wheedle it apart, but we did, and I will use the piece parts to copy. I'll just copy the pattern from the pieces.
Yep.
And so then I had this fabric, which goes very well with what we've got going on downstairs. And then I found this piece to do the bottom side. I only have enough for the top. So I had to locate something that I could use for the bottom. And so that's the next project I've got going on. Yeah.
So some home deck fabric, kind of a velour type.
Yep.
Oh, awesome.
So there's always projects.
And you know, one thing I noticed in this room is that we've got lots of room. So if you do start a project, you can start it, and then today we want to work on that project.
Right.
That's something to think about when you're designing your own sewing room. If you have the room, that is a luxury. One more luxury that you have.
We're about we're 18 across, and then 16 through the closet.
So that gives you an idea. I know a lot of you have. I do love seeing pictures online. There's some groups that show like before and after sewing rooms, and it's encouraging when you have a blank canvas. You had a blank canvas to start, so that is so nice to have. So what's next? Do you you feel settled?
Yes, I do.
Enough to get started, and now you can start those creative.
Well, and my UFOs are waiting, and now I can just pull up whichever machine I want and work on them. Yeah. And that's with doing this is my first upholstery project. And the reason I feel comfortable doing that and confident doing that is because I know that the performance
your sewing machine
performance icon has the grit to do heavier fabrics. And especially when there's piping in there too, and that gives me confidence to try things
Yes.
that I haven't tried before.
And that is one thing I do see with your projects is like, you know, sometimes you'll come in like, I did this. And I'm like, have you ever done that? And you're like, no, but I figured it out. And that is something that as you continue your journey, whether it's with videos or doing some of our online courses, that it's just one more step. And then it makes that next project that much easier. And even if it's hard the first time, the more you do it, I was listening to something about dabblers versus experts, and we're going to dive into that a little bit more going forward. But you know, if you just dabble, it's frustrating. But you got to get past the point of just trying it once. You got to do it more than once, and this is proof that you have continued and not given up. I know you've recovered the cushions on your boat. There's always people asking me to do that. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. But you just have to. I'm like, you just have to take it apart, put it back together. It's the same way it came apart, and you can do it. And you saved thousands of dollars by just buying marine grade vinyl.
Well, I did bulk of the work at home, and so it could be laid flat, and I could roll it and take it down to the boat. And then I used my Husqvarna Viking Emerald
118. The one we show in the video.
Yes. It fits very snugly on the boat.
Yes.
And I pulled it out and I sewed the sides in. And then I was able to insert and make any corrections, but I didn't really need to because what we'd used for patterns, the old Gishin covers, were perfect. And so
it's amazing. So if you have creative sewing room thoughts that you want to share, we'd love to see comments listed below. I thank you so much for letting me show off your sewing room, and so I wish you many more years of sewing. You're getting towards retirement. I mean, you're kind of semi-retired.
Yes.
But I know that you just love to come down here and just keep sewing.
Well, it's the creative outlet.
Yeah.
When life is full of certain things, you just have to have someplace to create.
And
we should create every day.
Yes. Thank you so much. Oh, wonderful.
Thank you, friend.
This is, I hope to maybe do a few more of these, but I hope you've enjoyed it. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And I look forward to doing some more fun videos like this going forward from here. So happy sewing, everyone.
Yeah, thanks. That's right, I have this huge hoop.
Oh.
So I put it out.
Yay.
So I don't lose it. I miss it.
Yes. So in other words, you lose things in your sewing room like the rest of us do.
I do.